welcome back to the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Sam Menzie, and we've got a show for you today. First topic we're going over is the American League All-Star Game roster revealed. After that, the National League. Then going over the Reds trade deadline, some Twins roster moves, and the pitcher power rankings for this week. But before we do all that, I'd like to ask you to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers, so to ensure that your question does get read in the air, please use the link, gsmcpodcast.net. Rate us up the show, and ratings mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. And let's get into our show for today. All right, so first, before we get into it, happy 4th of July to everyone. If you're watching in America or not, it is a nice day to celebrate America, so that's nice. Hope you're all having a good day. But going into our first segment here, talking about the American League All-Star Game roster, and this was revealed last night, of course. I talked about a preliminary before, who I would vote for and all that. Now I am going to go over the selections, some guys I maybe think were snubbed as well, and just the picks and just my thoughts on them. So, yeah, always have a great time watching the All-Star Game. Very happy now that these rosters were chosen. And, yeah, very excited. So, starting off with the DH position, they have from the Houston Astros, Yordan Alvarez. Now, to me, Alvarez was the clear pick. He was having an absolutely fantastic season with the Astros. The way he was performing this year was truly incredible. I mean, he's been like this year in and year out, just a fantastic player. And, yeah, I think definitely deserves this position. He is the guy I voted for and is an incredible player. He's going to have a lot of All-Star games before he retires. I think is probably the most intimidating DH in the league since David Ortiz was here. So, yeah, an incredible player, deserves this selection, and been a big part of the Astros this year and why they haven't fully gone under. So, some other players I thought maybe deserved this were David Fry of the Guardians, who's having a really nice season. Kerry Carpenter as well before he got hurt with the Tigers as well. But overall, I think Yordan was the clear choice here, and I think he definitely deserves this pick. At catcher, we have from the Baltimore Orioles, Adley Rutschman. Yeah, I think Rutschman absolutely deserved this pick. I maybe would have gone Connor Wong with the Red Sox over him just because Wong was having such a breakout season really out of nowhere, but at the same time, Rutschman was doing so fantastic. He's doing so great, and being on the best team in the league, having the season he's having, I think it makes a lot of sense. It's very fair for this decision. Again, I would maybe pick Connor Wong over him, but at the same time, I do think picking Rutschman is fair. I think it was a great selection, and overall, I think Rutschman definitely deserves this pick, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch in the All-Star Game. I'm sure there's tons more in his future, and yeah, again, I think maybe Connor Wong, but Adley's still a fantastic player and definitely deserves this selection based off his numbers, so yeah. At first base, we have from the Toronto Blue Jays, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Now, Guerrero, I also think deserves this pick. He was having a great selection. A great year, and was a good selection. I think that overall, Vladdy's, again, having a really good year has been one of the big reasons why the Blue Jays haven't fully self-destructed within themselves. And, yeah, it's having just a really great year. Maybe we're not sure if he'll be in the Blue Jays much longer after this game, but hey, nice representative here for the country of Canada. And, yeah, really good pick. I probably would have gone Josh Naylor over him, to be perfectly honest. I think Naylor's having the better season. He's on the better team. He's one of the main reasons why the Guardians have been so good this year. But at the same time, Vladdy's having a great season himself. So I don't really see the problem here. Again, I would maybe go Naylor, but Vladdy's not a bad pick. He's still having a fantastic season, so not really going to complain too much. At second base, we have from the Houston Astros, Jose Altuve. No gripes here. He's who I picked throughout the entire process to play at second base. He's so consistently good. It's just incredible. I know a lot of people don't like him because of 2017, but such a fantastic, amazing, I really think, incredible player. I really think he gets underrated with how great he is in the history of baseball. One of the greatest second basemen in the history. Consistently, always fantastic, and just, yeah, a great season. Definitely deserves a selection, and happy for him. One of my favorite players personally, and very happy for him to be here on this pick. At shortstop, we have from the Baltimore Orioles, Gunnar Henderson, the second Oriole on this list. I think Henderson absolutely deserved this pick. There are a lot of good other shortstops that could have been here, mainly Bobby Witt Jr. is having also a fantastic season, which is unfortunate that did not get picked and is not getting the publicity he deserves. But at the same time, Henderson is having a better season, in my opinion. Henderson has just been so fantastic this year. I mean, you look at his stats, they're incredible. He's probably number 2 in the AL MVP voting right now, right behind Aaron Judge. He's just having a truly fantastic season. He's going to be a superstar in this league for a long time. And, yeah, just so exciting to watch him him and Adley both got chosen, and I think are going to be, big parts of this league for a long, long time. And overall, very, very excited to watch them and end up seeing what is going to happen with these guys. At third base, we have from the Cleveland Guardians, Jose Ramirez. Yeah, I don't really have a problem with this. Ramirez is having a fantastic, fantastic season. Like Altuve, consistently one of the best players in baseball. Really never has a down season or a down point. It's just so good always. I also think is underrated long term. I do think at this point he is one of the greatest third basemen to ever play the game with how well he's done. So I love this pick. I think it is deserved. I personally, though, would have gone Rafael Devers over him, but I also don't think Ramirez is a bad pick. I mean, he's done great this year. Guardians, one of the best teams in baseball, one of the biggest prizes in baseball. So it's not exactly like it wasn't earned. I just would have gone Devers over him, but at the same time, having a great, great season. No gripes here about this. For the outfield, so first off, we have from the Cleveland Guardians, once again, Steven Kwan. Yeah, Kwan is leading the league in batting average right now. As much as batting average is, a lot less not as valuable as it once was, I should say, which I agree with. I don't really think it's a great stat. He's still a fantastic player. Has amazing bat-to-ball skills, maybe the closest thing we've seen to Tony Gwynn since Tony Gwynn retired. Plays great defense in the outfield, really leads off the game nice for this Guardians team. Is just a fantastic, fantastic player. Definitely deserved this spot, and really nice job for him. One of the biggest reasons why, again, the Guardians have done as well as they have this year. So, yeah, great pick here. I have no problem with it, and been a fantastic, fantastic player. Center field, we have from the New York Yankees, Aaron Judge. It's Aaron Judge. I mean, he got in the first round because he had the most voting. I mean, what is there to say about Aaron Judge that hasn't been said, right? It's Aaron Judge. He's having a historic, amazing season once again. Just a incredible, fantastic, generational, special player. No other comments here about Judge. An incredible, incredible player, and he definitely deserves to be here in the center field position. And yeah, he's Aaron Judge. What he else going to say, right? Then in the final outfield position, we have again from the New York Yankees, Juan Soto. Soto was also having a fantastic, amazing season. Soto and Judge have quickly become one of the greatest duos to ever play the game of baseball, period. Not just in this year. Soto has really, really thrived since coming to the Bronx. I thought he would be fantastic, and he has been. Really has lived up to being a Yankee, quote-unquote. Has really fulfilled playing for this historic franchise, and just definitely 100% deserves this pick and deserves to be here. He's been such an incredible player, and overall is someone that has just been absolutely fantastic as a Yankee. He's having an incredible season this year. Without Judge or Gunnar Henderson, he would have been the MVP in really any other year. Has been a fantastic addition to this Yankees lineup. And it's Juan Soto. It's kind of like Judge, kind of like Altuve. What else are you going to say? This guy's so fantastic. Now, for outfield positions in the AL, I don't really have a big disagreement. I mean, I picked all these guys as well in mine. I think they're all 100% deserving. There are some other guys maybe who should have gotten some recognition for how great of seasons they're having, but at the same time, these guys have just stood out from everyone else this entire year with how fantastic they have been, how great they've done, and I definitely think this outfield is deserved. I don't really think there's someone who, is kind of is someone that you're looking at like, oh, he doesn't deserve to be here. No, all these guys are fantastic superstars, and yeah, definitely deserves to be here. So, recapping the American League All-Star Game starting roster here. At the DH position, Yordan Alvarez from the Houston Astros. At the catcher position, Adley Rutschman from the Baltimore Orioles. At the first base position, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. from the Toronto Blue Jays. At the second base position, Jose Altuve from the Houston Astros. At the shortstop position, Gunnar Henderson from the Baltimore Orioles. The third base position, Jose Ramirez from the Cleveland Guardians. In the outfield spots, Steven Kwan from the Cleveland Guardians, and Aaron Judge and Juan Soto from the New York Yankees. So, that was our first segment here, talking about the American League All-Star Game roster that was, of course, recently announced. Moving into our second segment here, which is going to be talking about the National League All-Star Game roster. Let me update the text here. So, yeah, just the same thing, just going over the National League as well. Kind of, you just saw what happened. So, yeah, we'll be talking about that, and we'll see you after the break. So, thanks, and bye.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, I'm losing shit. A stupid myth, you choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our second segment, which is going to be talking about the National League All-Star Game roster that was just announced. But before we do that, I'd like to ask you again to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers, so to ensure that your question does get read in the air, please use the link, gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. And let's get back into our second segment here today on this July 4th. Happy July 4th again to everyone watching. So, starting off this roster, just talking about the picks like we did last segment as well, which I did the American League, so if you want to see that, go ahead. So yeah, starting off with the DH position we have from the Los Angeles Dodgers. Who else other than Shohei Ohtani? I mean, it's Ohtani, right? The best player in baseball, in my opinion. Maybe the best player of all time at this point. He deserves this pick 100%. Marcell Ozuna is also having a fantastic season at the NL DH position, but at the same time, Ohtani's doing better. The Dodgers are a better team. He's Ohtani. He's more marketable. He's the face of baseball, in my opinion. And, yeah, definitely 100% deserves this pick. I don't really think anyone, maybe other than Braves fans, are going to say that he doesn't really deserve this. So, yeah, Ohtani, 100% the right choice here. Nothing really to have a gripe about. Yeah, definitely deserves this selection here. At the catcher position, we have from the Milwaukee Brewers, William Contreras. Contreras has been one of the biggest breakout stars of this year. Was very solid after coming over last year in the Atlanta Matt Olson trade, but has taken it to a whole new heights this year. I mean, has just hit the cover off the ball. Been one of the biggest parts why the Brewers have been such a great team this year. Have been a team that really exceeded expectations. And yeah, it's just been a fantastic player. Is having an incredible season. Might be more of a DH than a catcher, but I think plays both really to the same level. So I think this selection is fine. I mean, he's having, again, amazing, fantastic season. 100% deserves this pick. I mean, he really, really does. Having a, just, again, crazy season. Becoming a huge part of this Brewers core in the future. And, yeah, 100% deserves this pick. At first base, we have from the Philadelphia Phillies, Bryce Harper. Yeah, I mean, Harper, again, 100% deserves this pick. The one thing I've talked about on the show a lot that I'm very impressed with is how seamlessly Harper has made that transition to first base. I mean, he was a catcher in high school, coming up to the minor leagues a little bit, was an outfielder after that, and played first base for the first time this year in any professional level, and has done it really to a high level. Not only playing defense to a high level as well, but at the same time, hitting the ball, hasn't let his new first base routine distract him, any of that, transitioning to a whole new position. It's just been so impressive to watch. I mean, he's hitting the ball like he always is. He's just an incredible, amazing player. It's Bryce Harper, right? What are you going to say? An incredible season, and 100% deserves this pick. Is having, again, a fantastic season like always, and definitely deserves this. Now, Freddie Freeman is also having an equally amazing and impressive season, but I did pick Harper just for the fact the Phillies right now are better than the Dodgers, and the way Harper has been able to transition to first base with never playing the position before. I think that's been very impressive in my opinion. And as much as Freeman's been a very impressive player, been very good, I did go Harper over him just for that sheer fact. But again, Freeman definitely deserves a nod. But at the same time, he's going to make it. It's Freddie Freeman. He always makes the All-Star game, right? So he'll definitely be here somehow. At second base, we have from the Arizona Diamondbacks, Ketel Marte. Yeah, Marte definitely deserves this pick. This is the guy I really had all throughout this process as my NL starting second baseman. Is having a really, really fantastic season. I mean, is continuing how well he's done throughout these past few years. Is a really fantastic player, and overall, I think definitely deserves this pick. 100% is, has been very, very good, and yeah, I think that this is the correct decision. is one of the best players in baseball, and 100% deserves this, and congrats to him. Great selection. No notes here. Now, at shortstop, we have from the Philadelphia Phillies, again, Trey Turner. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't agree with this decision whatsoever. I don't think that Trey Turner really deserves this pick. I thought there were a lot of other players that should have, and deserved this pick more. And I think that, he really only got in because of Phillies fans. Now, Trey Turner's a great player, but at the same time, he's not even playing in 50 games this year. And I think there were a lot of better options here to pick for the NL shortstop. I mean, first of all, Elly De La Cruz is having an amazing, fantastic season with the Reds. Is one of the faces of baseball at this moment. How marketable he is, how great he plays, how fun he plays. I would have gone Elly over Trey Turner, so I think that's one option there. Also, the guy I picked over Trey Turner was Francisco Lindor of the Mets. Lindor, since moving to the leadoff position in the Mets lineup, has been an absolutely elite player. He's really just unstoppable in that position. You see the jersey right there. So I'm not gonna act like, again, I'm not biased because I'm a Mets fan. I'm a Mets fan. Of course, there is going to be some part of my mind that is biased when it's coming to a Mets matter, but at the same time, I truly do believe Lindor should have been the selection here. The way the Mets have been the hottest team in baseball, really, for around a month now since Grimace throughout the first pitch. I mean, we know about this. We don't have to go into it more. It's an insane situation, but it's true. The way Lindor has really carried this offense with other guys, of course, like JD Martinez, like Brandon Nimmo, but the way Lindor has been able to set this lineup up in the leadoff position, play the defense so well at shortstop like he always is, and just hitting the cover off the ball right now, I do think Lindor should have been the selection here. Somehow has not made an All-Star team as a Met, even though he's had 3 fantastic seasons there. I think 4 now, actually. So, I really think a lot of it has to do with him starting slow every year, but at the same time, always finishes the year with fantastic stats. So, I do think Lindor should have been the selection here. Trey Turner is, of course, a fantastic player, but at the same time, he hasn't played in that many games this year because of injury, and I do think there were 2 significantly better options than him. Mookie Betts is obviously a better option, of course, but he's hurt, so you can't pick him. So, I would have gone 2 other players. Trey Turner's still a great player, but I think there were better options here. At third base, we have, again, from the Philadelphia Phillies, 3 in the infield, Alec Bohm. Surprisingly, Bohm is my pick. If you told me before the year that Alec Bohm would be an All-Star and that I would also want him to be an All-Star, that would be crazy. But Bohm has finally lived up to his top prospect potential, has been a true breakout player this year, has been absolutely fantastic, and just overall has really become a big part of this Phillies core, become a big part of what the Phillies are doing currently, and he has just been a fantastic player this year. Ryan McMahon also deserves some credit from the Colorado Rockies. I think any other year he would have made it. He's definitely still going to make the All-Star team because he's really the only option for the Rockies to get their one representative. But at the same time, Bohm has still had a fantastic year. I did pick him over McMahon. I still do agree with that, but McMahon's still having a great year, so I'm not going to give any shade to him. But Bohm is having a better one, and the way he's really broken out this year has been truly impressive. So props to him, and again, one of the biggest reasons why the Phillies have been so great as they have been this year. Next, going to the outfield, first off from the San Diego Padres, Jurickson Profar. What a story Jurickson Profar has been. I mean, absolutely incredible. Signing a 1-year, $1 million contract to return to the Padres after playing there in 2022, signing with the Rockies in 23, getting traded back to the Padres, then signing back with the Padres in 2024 as a late signing in spring training after they needed an outfielder. And man, he's been one of the best players in baseball in general, period. I mean, he's going to get some MVP votes, deservedly so. Been a huge part of this Padres team. Been absolutely fantastic. I don't know what else to say about Profar, and gets to return now to Texas, where he started off his career as a top prospect with the Rangers organization. Really nice, fun story. Happy for him. Just an absolutely incredible story. Fantastic year, and 100% deserves this pick. No doubt here. What a story. Next, in center field, we have his teammate from the San Diego Padres, Fernando Tatis Jr. Tatis is also someone I picked. He's had an absolutely amazing season. I mean, it's Tatis, right? He's made the seamless transition to the outfield since last year. Has been absolutely incredible. Been a great player for this Padres team. Is having a fantastic season. Yeah, no notes here. Has been so good, and definitely should be the pick in the outfield here. The third and final pick in the outfield here we have from the Milwaukee Brewers, Christian Yelich. Yelich has really rebounded after a few rough seasons in the Milwaukee uniform. Obviously had that amazing MVP season with Milwaukee back in 2018, but since then had really struggled after 2021 and finally has got it going this year. Finally has become maybe the Christian Yelich of old. Has had a fantastic season. Definitely deserves this pick. No gripes about it here. Has had a fantastic season. I do think really deserves this pick, and overall has been an amazing player. Yeah, really deserves this, and happy for him, definitely. The way he's rebounded after those couple of seasons, those couple of rough seasons, has been really impressive, and props to him. Now, some other guys I would have picked in the outfield, or I think should have gotten some more credit. First of all, Heliot Ramos from the San Francisco Giants has come out of nowhere and had a fantastic season with the Giants team. It's been one of the most reliable bats on a team that really does not have many. So I think he should have gotten more credit. I do think he should make the All-Star game, and I think he's definitely it's someone that should get more publicity for being an All-Star. Also, another Padre. Could have had 3 Padres in the outfield, and I honestly wouldn't have been mad. Jackson Merrill. Merrill's had an amazing rookie season with this Padres team, and overall has just been so good. Talked about him yesterday as he was second in my Rookie of the Year voting. So, yeah, just an amazing season with this Padres team. Again, like Tatis, has made the seamless transition from shortstop to the outfield. Has been such an impressive player, and yeah, definitely deserves to be an All-Star this year. I have no problem with these 3 starting in the outfield. It's who I picked as well in my own video. So I, again, have no problem, but at the same time, there are 2 guys I did want to mention as guys I also think should get some selections as well. So, going over the All-Star team again, at the DH from the Los Angeles Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani. At catcher from the Milwaukee Brewers, William Contreras. At first base from the Philadelphia Phillies, Bryce Harper. At second base from the Arizona Diamondbacks, Ketel Marte. At shortstop from the Philadelphia Phillies, Trey Turner. At third base from the Philadelphia Phillies, Alec Bohm. In the outfield from the Milwaukee Brewers, Christian Yelich, and from the San Diego Padres, Fernando Tatis Jr. and George Profar. So yeah, that's our second segment here. Finishing off our 2 segments talking about the All-Star Game rosters. First was American League, this was National League. Moving into our third one here, which is going to be talking about, can we photo up? There we go. The Reds and their trade deadline and just some thoughts about it. So yeah, what direction they'll go in, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll talk about that, and we'll see you after the break. So thanks, and bye.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our third segment, which is going to be talking about the Cincinnati Reds and their trade deadline, and just some moves I think that should end up happening for them, and just what direction I think they should go in for the trade deadline. So let's get into it. The Reds have been a very polarizing team this year. I've talked about it many times, but to me, they've been maybe the most disappointing team this entire year. I talked before the season multiple times about how I thought they were clearly the best team in the NL Central. I thought they would win that division, and unfortunately, they've let me down. They are currently third in the division, or about 10 games out of the first place right now. So, have definitely been a very disappointing team. Have been a team I really have been, sad to watch. There's been a lot of stuff not going right for them, including injuries and all that. But at the same time, just very disappointing the way I thought this year would go. So, I think now getting closer to the trade deadline. Right now it's July 4th, of course, when I record this and when I'm on live. The trade deadline is on July 31st. You've got under a month now to decide what you're going to do, and I think the Reds are one of those teams that really have to take a hard look in the mirror and say, what are we doing? What is our decisions? What decisions are we making? What are we going to do? And you have to decide, first of all, are you doing maybe one of 4 things? 1, are you fully rebuilding? 2, are you buying? 3, are you retooling? 4, are you doing nothing? Now, I'd say fully rebuilding is out of the way because I think once everyone gets healthy, they're going to be a team to really watch out for next year. And I think buying is out of the picture as well. I think at this point, when you look at this Reds team, I mean, right now in the NL Central currently, they are third place. They are 10.5 games out of first place, 4 games behind Cardinals for second place. You look at the wild card as well. The teams above them include the Braves, Cardinals, Padres, Mets, Diamondbacks, Giants. And they're tied with the Pirates as well. And the Nationals are only a half game behind them. So there's a lot of teams you'd have to, continuously beat to get into that wild card position, to even really get into a position of it. Even though you're 4 games out isn't what it used to be. It's a lot more, it's a much bigger deal because of the third wild card spot now, because of the NL this year, how many teams are compacted together, together with one another, kind of within, a game, 2 games, 3 games of each other. So there's a lot of teams the Reds would have to pass, a lot of things they would have to end up doing different this year, and I just don't think buying is the correct move to do. Now, if I'm them, I'm really doing a bit of a retooling. I'm getting rid of guys who I don't see as part of my long-term future on 1 to 2 year deals, guys I think are also expendable, and so I want to talk about it. So first of all, the guy you see on the screen there, if you are watching, Jonathan India. I think that's someone that the Reds really should look to move on from finally. Sorry about that. That was, if I made a weird thing, that was my phone. I was trying to get on my notes and it fell, so that was unfortunate. But Jonathan India, I mean, he's been in trade rumors for such a long time now. I mean, really, it's been years and years at this point that he's been in trade rumors for the Reds, really since winning that Rookie of the Year, and for a good reason. India has been a decent player, but nothing really too extraordinary, not really been a guy to build your franchise around since that rookie year. And with all the talent the Reds have on this team in the infield, with all the young players coming up, I don't think there's a long-term future for India right now. And I think they were very close to trading him at the offseason, and I still think they should try to regather those talks and try to end up finally moving on from India. Now, the reason I say this is because India is a good, solid player, but really isn't anything fantastic. I think he's just a fine player who is a starter, but isn't a fantastic starter, isn't an all-star level player. And this year, I think he's really outperforming expectations. Do I think he's a really 122 WRC plus type bat? I don't. I don't think he's that good of a player. I think he's solid, but I don't think he's that good. And I think if you are a Reds fan, you kind of look at India and you say, okay, we should sell him at his highest value. And looking at the long-term future of this team, I just don't see where he's going to play. I mean, you have your infield really sorted out for the next 5-10 years, I'd say, honestly. First base, Christian Encarnacion Strand. Second base, Matt McLain. Shortstop, Ellie De La Cruz. And then third base, Noelvi Marte. I think that really should be your infield for a long, long time. And I just don't see a place where India is going to play. Now, this year, it worked out to hold on to him because of all the injuries you had to your infield, with Noelvi Marte getting suspended, with Matt McLain being out for the year. But going into next year, are you going to move India to an outfield spot? Is that really what you're going to do? I just don't think that's a great decision to make. And I think you should use the depth you have, the player you have, that as much as he's good, he doesn't provide a lot of value to you because he's probably not going to be starting when everyone's healthy. So I think you should end up flipping him to a team that needs a second baseman, needs an infielder for some type of pitcher. I think that would make some sense for a controllable pitcher. Now, I know there was a lot of conversations about him getting traded with the Blue Jays in the offseason. I don't know really how that would work. I don't really know if that's a fit at this point with how the Blue Jays are performing. I think the Mariners would make a lot of sense as a position for India to go with, getting a pitcher back. Now, I want to make it clear that India getting traded isn't going to get a superstar level player. He's not going to get a player like an Emerson Hancock, a Brian Wu, a Logan Gilbert. Absolutely not. But he's going to get a good, solid player, a good pitcher under control for the next maybe 2-3 years, and I think that's really where his value lies. So if I'm you guys, I'm using the depth you have to your advantage, trading from one of those guys and getting someone else for this guy. I think getting a controllable pitcher, building up this rotation, building up this young team would be a really good decision. And I think he is going to have to end up being dealt. He's become a fan favorite over there in Cincinnati. He's become a great presence in that clubhouse, but at the same time, I think it's time to move on for your team, and I think it's time to deal from your depth. I mean, you also have Santiago Espinal right there if you're worried about, trading India and then you're having no depth in the infield after that. Now, you still have Espinal. You still have some other guys as well on that team, so it's not like you're just trading him and then you have no backups. No, you still have other players, and that's why I do think India is good, but just not good enough to stay in this team because I think there are other players better than him. So I think trading him now to get a good package back would make a lot of sense. I mean, a lot of teams gives you an infielder right now. I mean, looking at the league currently, I think the Mets could be a fit for India. I know a lot of Mets fans have wanted this for a few years because he grew up a Mets fan in Florida with his father. But at the same time, I just don't think it's been a fit before this year with Jeff McNeil. But the way McNeil's been struggling, I think they could look to add Jonathan India. I also think going to other teams as well. I think the Dodgers could be a fit. I think the Diamondbacks could be a fit. I think the Yankees could definitely be a fit. It would be unfortunate for him to cut off that beautiful hair, but it would have to happen. I think Cleveland could definitely be a fit. Again, Seattle I mentioned as well as a team. So there are a lot of fits here for a good solid infielder like India. I think it would make a lot of sense to end up trading him for a pitcher, and I think that is one of the decisions that the Reds would have to end up making. Now, after that, there are also some other great players you could trade at the deadline if you are a Reds fan. First of all, Frankie Montas, a guy who signed to a one-year contract coming off an injury-riddled season with the Yankees. Montas hasn't been great for you guys, but provides a lot of upside if you can get him fully healthy and get his pitches back to working where they were in Oakland all those years ago. Also, it's just a good, solid innings eater. Is a good veteran arm that I think wouldn't cost that much for a team to acquire. Really hasn't worked out in Cincinnati. I think another change of scenery would be good for him. And I think any team looking for pitching, if you don't want to spend too much, I think getting Montas as a good, solid veteran relief arm would make a lot of sense. And not relief, just a good veteran arm out of that rotation, I think would make a ton of sense. And if I'm a Reds fan, I'm definitely looking to get a good package back for Montas. Again, nothing crazy, but something good, something very solid for him. And I think that would make a lot of sense for this team and the future of the team. So I think that would be a really good decision. Also, in the bullpen, trading a guy like Brent Suter, who you signed to a one-year contract, would be a nice decision as well. Suter's a very solid left-handed bullpen arm, which a lot of teams need. He did sign with the Reds because he is from Cincinnati, but at the same time, I think this is a business at the end of the day. I'm sure Suter knows that, so going to a contender wouldn't be mad for him. So, yeah, I think there are a lot of ways the Reds could really go here, but overall what I'm trying to say is I think they'll be very good next year, but I just think because of the injuries this year, because of the circumstances you found yourself this year, I just don't think this is your year to compete. I really think next year is what you should be targeting for, assuming everyone's healthy. There are a ton of great young pieces on this team, guys like Nick Lodolo, guys like Hunter Green for your rotation. Offense, like I said, the guys I mentioned as well, you have the flexibility to sign someone. They haven't been scared to sign people in the past. I mean, you gave Nick Castellanos a big contract in the past as well. So you have guys like Chase Petty coming up through the ranks. You have the first overall pick. You have the second overall pick in this year's draft. I mean, you could draft a guy like Charlie Condon or Jack Caglione or Travis Bazanza and have them come up in the next 1 or 2 years and be a big part of their core. Chase Burns as well. So a lot is going right for this Reds team. There's a ton to like in the future. And, just because this year was a flop, just because of the circumstance that happened this year, you won't be competing. There's still a lot to like in the future. The future is very high still in Cincinnati. And, definitely will be excited to see what they do next. Definitely excited to see what decisions are end up being made for this Reds team. So that is our third segment here, talking about the Cincinnati Reds and their trade deadline and what could end up happening with them. We'll be moving into our fourth segment, which is going to be talking about the Twins and just some roster moves around them. I'm going over some injuries, prospect call-ups, all that kind of stuff. So, we'll be talking to you after the break. So thanks and bye.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC. To access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you, sorry about that, our fourth segment, which is going to be talking about some Twins roster moves, just going over the team as of recently and what has been happening with them. So let's get into it. Now, recently the Twins did end up making two pretty significant roster moves, placing infielder Royce Lewis on the injured list and calling up top prospect Brooks Lee from the minors. So I want to talk about both and just give my general thoughts on them. So let's get into it. We will be talking about Brooks Lee first and then transitioning more into Royce Lewis and then just the Twins in general. So yeah, talking about Brooks Lee here. If you've watched my show now for the time it's been on these couple of months, I've loved Brooks Lee. I think this guy's a fantastic prospect. Really has a ton of hit tool to like. I think really is going to be a plus player in the future. He's going to add in really nice to this Twins young core. And I had him picked for one of my Rookie of the Year candidates. I thought he would be up earlier in the season, but at the same time, the Twins decided now is the right time. I'm not going to disagree with them. They know him better than me. So, yeah, he's having a great season down in the minor leagues, and overall is going to be a fantastic player in the future. Very excited to watch him. And just going over him right now, I mean, he's a 23-year-old switch-hitting infielder, 6'1", 205. Really nice frame for a middle infielder. His hit tool is a 65, which is fantastic. Power is a 55, run is a 50, arm is 55, and fielding is a 50, overall 55. He is a top 15 prospect in the entire league. Somehow only second, though, in the Twins organization. They have a really nice prospect capital right now. So Lee is someone I've had my eyes on for a little while. Again, I thought he would be the opening day shortstop for this Twins team, but unfortunately did not make the team out of camp. And, I thought he had a really good chance to, but obviously they decided that wasn't the best time. And I guess they've been proven right. The team has done fine without him, but at the same time, I still like Lee a lot. I still think he could have been up before, and I think there's lots of love about this guy. Now, looking at Lee, I think this is someone that really represents more hope for this Twins franchise. There's a lot of great, fantastic players on this team, and adding in another top prospect to it would be absolutely amazing. Of course, Lewis is a top prospect for a long time, being the first overall pick in the MLB draft, so there's a lot to like for this Twins team, and I think Lee coming up really signifies that. Again, I think Lee is someone that shows plus hitting tool in the major leagues, will be a great defender, runs really well, is going to field great at that shortstop position, third base position, second base position, wherever he plays. So someone I'm very, very excited to watch. I think there's a ton of talent here with this guy, and there's a lot to love. So very excited to watch him in the major leagues. Made his debut yesterday with the Twins, so a lot to like with him. And overall, someone I will definitely be watching as the season goes on, as the future goes on, and just someone I really am excited to follow and excited to end up seeing just how really he progresses as a player and with this Twins team as well. So yeah, very excited and very interested to see where his career does go from here with Minnesota. Now, also after that, we of course had Royce Lewis. Some more negative news for the Twins, probably the reason why Lee was indeed called up. Lewis was placed on the injured list again with a hamstring strain, and just a huge blow for this Twins team. I had a whole segment on Lewis, how well he was doing in his small time span being called back up to the major leagues from his injury. And yeah, Lewis is just another part of this Twins team, another star on this Twins team that is amazing when healthy, but cannot stay it. I mean, you look at Byron Buxton as really the main guy with that kind of, with the main guy is that kind of description, a player who went on the field as an MVP level player, but can never stay on it consistently. And Lewis is adding up to that, his second significant injury for this year. Of course, got hurt in the first game of the year. He started off 2 for 2 against the Royals and then got hurt, so that was really unfortunate. Obviously, it was a huge blow to the Twins at that time. Came back, has done fantastic in a short time span here, and now he's back on the injured list again. So, obviously, this is going to be something that Lewis has to battle for the rest of his career. Has shown that he is going to be injury prone, unfortunately. And yeah, just is really unfortunate for a guy that I love. I think has a ton of talent. I think there's a lot to love about this guy. I think he has just immense talent, and I'm very excited to watch him in the future. But it's just really unfortunate that he keeps getting injured, and it really does keep affecting the Twins team because he is such a big part of it. He is such a significant part of what they do over there in the Twin Cities, of how good this team is. And I really think this guy is a fantastic player when he's out in the field, but he just is not. And it really is something that is unfortunate. And it's just sad for Twins fans keep getting these first overall picks like Byron Buxton, like Royce Lewis, who are really generational type talents, and they just always have to deal with the injury bugs. And You also have Carlos Correa as well, who isn't exactly the most healthy player of all time. So, it's just a lot of injury risk this Twins team, but when they're on the field, man, are they good. And, this Twins team, they have a lot going right for the future. I mean, Renfield, you have players like Eduardo Julian, Royce Lewis, Carlos Correa, Brooks Lee. Those 4 guys, I really think, could be the mainstays of your infield for the future. You're going to have probably Julian at first. You can have Lewis at second, Correa at short, Lee at third, maybe switch Lee to short, Correa to third as Correa gets older. Obviously, he was going to do it at the Mets when he signed there, but obviously it didn't work out. So there's really a lot to like about this Twins team. I think the future is really looking good for them. I really think an underrated future within this league. I don't think enough people talk about how good this Twins team is going to be in the future. And I think there really is a lot to like right now about them and just what they are building there in Minnesota. Now, going over this entire team, again, I think the Twins are a very solid team this year. There's a lot to like with the pitching staff part. I mean, Pablo Lopez is a really good pitcher. Obviously, he's having a down season this year, but I still believe in him as well. You also have some young pitchers like Bailey Ober, Louis Varland, Chris Paddock, Simeon Woods-Richardson, guys like that who are really good young players that add a lot to this Twins team. Have a very nice bullpen as well with guys like Justin Topa, Johan Duran in the back end of that bullpen who have been very good. So overall, I think this Twins team is very good. I think there's a lot to love about it and a lot of pieces here that I don't think people give them enough credit for. I think overall this Twins team is very, very good. There's a lot to like in the future and is a team that really has a lot going for them. This Lewis injury is kind of unfortunate, I'd say, but calling Lee up, you get to fulfill really, I'd say substitute Lewis's value with Lee. I don't think Lee's going to be as good of a player as Lewis was in that time when he was healthy, but I think Lee is still a really, really good player, a really great young prospect that is going to do a lot of damage in this league. And again, I had him as a Rookie of the Year candidate at the start of the year. I think very highly of him, and I think this is a guy that really is going to be a monster in the leagues in the future. So, yeah, I mean, looking at this Twins team again, they still have a really nice future ahead of them. Walter Jenkins, a top 5 prospect in baseball, one of the top picks in the draft last year, is going to be up sooner rather than later. Is a guy I really, really like in this Twins team. I mean, he's just absolutely a beast. His ETA right now is 2026, so only really have to wait 2 years. He's only an A-ball, 19 years old. I think he's going to be an absolute monster when he comes up. That's someone else who's going to help this team. You also, of course, have Emmanuel Rodriguez, who you acquired in the trade from Seattle as an outfield prospect. So overall, I think this guy's another player that is really going to help out with this team. You also, of course, have David Festa, a top pitching prospect you called up, Luke Keschall, who's another prospect in this Twins organization. So overall, this Twins team has a lot of young players going for it, a lot of young prospects that are going to be up soon, really doing damage, and there's a lot to like here for this Twins team in the future. This year is going to be interesting to watch with them. I mean, you look at the AL Central where they are currently. They're in second place, a game ahead of the Royals, really involved in the wild card right now. You look at what position they are in. Currently, they're second place in the wild card, so they're firmly in this playoff position. So, a lot to like about this Twins team, a lot to love in the future, and I think that overall this team is very, very good, are going to continue to be good for a long, long time. You have to deal with the Royce Lewis stuff, but again, you have a lot of depth, and I don't really think it's going to be a long-term problem. So, yeah, that is it for our fourth segment here, talking about the Twins and just some roster moves, going over them in general. Going into our fifth segment here, which is going to be talking about the pitcher power rankings from this week, just going over them and giving my thoughts. So, yeah, we'll be seeing you after the break, so thanks and bye. you're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our fifth and final segment here today on this July 4th holiday, talking about the... Ooh, I forgot to change the text here. I apologize about that. But talking about the pitcher power rankings for this week. Now, MLB does this a good amount of times. And I usually do talk about it. I like giving my thoughts on it. And, yeah, just talking about the pitcher power rankings and just going over it. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, starting off at number 1, we have from the Detroit Tigers, Tarik Skubal. Yeah, I think every time Skubal's been at the top of this list, I really have agreed. Skubal is a fantastic player. Has truly broken out this year after a couple of years, but he's been very good, shown a lot of flashes, but has never put it all together for injuries, some other thing as well. So Skubal has been a fantastic player this year. Absolutely incredible. I really think does deserve this number 1 placement. Is the AL Cy Young favorite as of right now. Has been absolutely incredible. He was my Cy Young pick before the year, so I really always have expected this. And yeah, very excited for a guy that I thought had a lot going for him in the past. Has really lived up to it. You know, the Tigers aren't doing that great, but that's definitely not up to the problem with Skubal. Has been an absolutely fantastic player, and overall has just been really good. So yeah, props to Skubal, props to how good he's been, and yeah, definitely deserves this number 1 placement in my opinion. Number 2, we have from the Baltimore Orioles, Corbin Burnes. Since Corbin Burnes has come over in that trade from Milwaukee, he has been everything the Orioles have wanted and more. Has been an absolute ace-level pitcher like they wanted, like they expected. And yeah, has just been a fantastic addition to this Orioles team and this Orioles core. I think Burnes has just been such a really incredible player. Again, has really exceeded all expectations I had for him. I thought he'd be very good, but how good he's been this year has been truly incredible. Adjusting from the, not the greatest hitting NL Central to now the AL East, where he's facing Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Rafael Devers, these superstars all the time. Has just been honestly incredible. One of the biggest reasons why the Orioles have been as impressive as they have been this year. Burnes is a fantastic pitcher. 100% deserves this number 2 placement here. Has been absolutely incredible, and yeah, I think this is a very fair placement to end up putting Corbin Burnes at. Number 3, we have from the Chicago White Sox, Garrett Crochet. Starting off this top 3 with all AL pitchers is very interesting, but I don't necessarily disagree. I don't know if I'd have Crochet this high, but I think Crochet has had an amazing season and definitely deserves to be here. Crochet has been such a fantastic, amazing pitcher that it really makes a lot of sense for him to be on this list. I mean, the way he's truly broken out with this White Sox team after being a reliever his entire MLB career has been so impressive, and he's really just been so good with this White Sox team. I mean, really has just been a very impressive player since transitioning from a reliever to a starter. I talked about that yesterday as well, so if you want to go ahead and talk and see that video from my second segment there from yesterday, please go ahead. But yeah, Crochet's just been such an impressive pitcher this year. The way, again, he seamlessly transitioned from being a reliever to a starter has been super impressive. And yeah, this is a guy I really like. Will probably be traded for a haul at the deadline to whatever team. And yeah, I think deserves a placement on this list. I'd probably have him a little lower, probably at number 5 here, below the 2 guys below him, which I'll be talking about, of course, next. But yeah, definitely deserves to be on this list. Is having a fantastic season. All right, number 4 here we have from the Pittsburgh Pirates, Paul Skeens. I mean, Paul Skeens, man, he really might win the Cy Young as a rookie, that would be so impressive. Wow, he's been insane. I mean, we knew about this guy for the past few years, coming up out of LSU, how impressive he was there. But, man, the way he has just effortlessly transitioned to the major leagues, effortlessly struck out these professional hitters, has just been so impressive. The guy throws 100 miles per hour consistently with ease. His windup is so clean, so fluid. Such an incredible player to watch live. His off-speed stuff is also incredible. Just, Skeens is a fantastic, amazing player. Right now, he's the Cy Young favorite as a rookie. I mean, just is absolutely incredible. Is an amazing player. And 100% deserves to be here on this list. I'd probably have him higher, like I said before. But yeah, the way he's been so amazing this year. And I definitely think he deserves to be on this list. Number 5, we have from the Kansas City Royals, Seth Lugo. Lugo, since signing with the Padres last year, has been a plus starting pitcher in this league. He begged for years for the Mets to make him a starting pitcher. They never obliged, and man, has he proven them wrong. Now going from San Diego to Kansas City, signed a big contract this offseason, I should say, 3 years, $45 million, and man, has he been worth every single penny. Has been such an impressive pitcher. I mean, has really lived up to every single expectation. The Royals could have had him more. Lugo has just been absolutely incredible. One of the biggest turnarounds I've seen in a long, long time. Watching him as a Mets fan for years, was a really solid pitcher out of the bullpen. But man, I never expected him to be in Cy Young conversations as a starter. Props to him. Props to how he's been able to turn his career around, and just what a season he's having. Going from one former Met to another, we have number 6 from the Philadelphia Phillies, Zach Wheeler. I mean, what are you going to say about Zach Wheeler, right? Top 3 pitcher in baseball. Absolutely fantastic. He's just an amazing, amazing player. And yeah, I think definitely deserves to be on this list. Is just absolutely amazing. Is so, so good. Signed that extension very deservedly with the Phillies before this year. Has lived up to every single expectation and more. Has been really, really good. And yeah, I think 100% deserves to be on this list. Very, very fair. And yeah, I think this is around the right placement as well. Been so, so good. And yeah, I think that very much is very much being deserved. So yeah. Next, we have number 7 from the Los Angeles Dodgers, Tyler Glasnow. Since coming over in the offseason, Glasnow has been everything the Dodgers have wanted and more. Has been such a fantastic player with this Dodgers team. The way he came over from Tampa to LA and has just slotted into being their ace has been truly incredible. I mean, really has been absolutely fantastic. Has been really, really good. And yeah, man, has been a great trade for this Dodgers team. Imagine if they didn't make this trade and Kershaw had that setback in his rehab. Yamamoto got hurt like he did. Where would they be at right now? Where would the Dodgers be without Glasnow? Has been such a fantastic addition. Was probably the best trade from the offseason. And yeah, such a great, great addition to this Dodgers team. Definitely deserves to be on this list. No gripes about that here. Number 8, we have, again, from the Philadelphia Phillies, Ranger Suarez. Now, Suarez at one point was the clear runaway favorite for NL Cy Young, but, has had some rough starts. He had a rough start against the Tigers, had a rough start against the Marlins as well. So, overall, still deserves to be on this list, but I think 8 is the right spot. I think he definitely deserves to fall on the list after those rough starts. You can't just get away with that. So, still has had a fantastic season with this Phillies team. Still has been a plus starting pitcher for this team. Has been absolutely fantastic. Has been one of the biggest reasons why the Phillies have been so dominant as they have been this year. Just, yeah, truly incredible. And yeah, deserves to be on this list, but definitely deserves to fall after his last few starts. But still, I have no doubt that he'll continue to be as great of a pitcher as he has been. Number 9, we have from the Atlanta Braves, Chris Sale. Sale has been such an amazing addition since coming over from Boston in the offseason. Really, a lot of people thought he was washed. Really was not the same pitcher as he once was, but at the same time, man, has he been impressive this year in Atlanta. I mean, really, had a lot of expectations going into this year. The Braves needed a starting pitcher this offseason. He was really the only big name they got. Of course, Reynaldo Lopez, but he was more of a question mark because he was coming over as a reliever to a starter. But Sale has been dominant since coming to Atlanta, has looked like his past self, has been absolutely incredible, really, really good. And yeah, I think this is definitely deserved placement on this list. And yeah, has been such a fantastic, fantastic player for this Braves team. And finally here at number 10, we have Sale's teammate, again from the Atlanta Braves, Max Fried. What is there to say about Fried? He's a great pitcher. One of the best pitchers in baseball, is having an amazing season this year like always. Will be very fascinating to see where he does end up in free agency. Him and Corbin Burns, man, that's a really, really elite top of the line pitcher free agent class. Very excited to see that. But yeah, overall, had an amazing season so far with Atlanta. Has been an amazing, amazing player. And yeah, definitely deserved here. Now, I think all these players on this list definitely deserve to be here. I don't really have a problem with that. Now, the order is something I would change. I would say, if I'm going over the top 5, I would probably have it as Skubal, Burns, Skeens, Lugo, then Crochet. Crochet's having a fantastic season, but I do think Skeens and Lugo are edging him out a little bit. So I would go with those guys over him, but at the same time, still having an amazing season. Just minor things here and there, but I think all 10 players here on this list are the correct choices. All deserve to be here, and all are having amazing, fantastic seasons, being big reasons why their teams have been succeeding this year. So that is our show for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, to notification bell to not only get notified when I upload, but when all the other great content creators on this channel too. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. I'm your host, Sam Menzie. Hope you had a great time watching me today. Happy 4th of July to all people out there. Great day to celebrate. We'll see if baseball throws at us tomorrow. And have a great day. Thank you guys, and bye.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.